Hey, my name is Justice, and this is day 3 of Healing Out Loud. I am documenting my depression so my kids don't have to lose their mom the way I lost mine. Okay, so today we're talking about the Humble House. It was a beautiful house on the outside, but the inside was chaos. So, after my mom quit boxing and after my grandfather gave her a large amount of money, I'm not going to say the exact amount just because honestly that's always been speculation. But let's just say it was a life-changing amount. And for a while, it changed in a really good way. When we got back to Houston, I'm not going to lie, some parts in my memory at that time are blurry for me. I don't remember everything like in the perfect order. Some of it comes back in pieces, like flashes. But what I do remember is how it felt at that time. I remember my mom getting this real nice house in Humble, Texas. At that time, life felt amazing. And I'm talking about I had any and everything I wanted. The nicest clothes. My mom had the nicest cars then. It felt like every month she was getting either a new one or she was switching them out. Hummers, Cadillacs, Mercedes. And it was always the newest car. She was really happy. That was her happiest time, I think. We stayed in the Galleria Mall. We was always out doing something. I remember she had me in dance class, and I really loved that. She put me in tennis too. I'm not gonna lie, I used to dread going to tennis. I was out there running around out of breath. I remember begging the coach, like, can we act like we trained? Like, why was I even there? But looking back, even that was a good memory. That was one of the only times in my life where things felt structured. I had a best friend, right? Let's call her E. If you're watching this, E, you know who you are. And those times when I'm looking back, this is before boarding school, you're my only real childhood friend. And my mom was friends with her mom. Let's call her Miss D. Anyway, me and E, we went to the same school. We did the same activities. We were really like privileged kids at that time. My mom was really trying to be like that soccer mom. If I had track, she was there. Sometimes she'd even run laps too. Like, she was really doing the most. She was taking me either every day or every other day. And for that season of my life, I really felt like maybe this is what normal is supposed to feel like. Her relationship with her parents, it seemed cool at that time, mostly with her dad. We were mostly always on that side of the family. So Bible study on Wednesdays, church every Sunday. And then after church, the family would get together, would be at the church house on the side, and we'll eat, sleep, and then go to church in the evening. And I really love that time, right? But I need y'all to like really keep something in mind when I'm telling you my stories, right? My grandma, that was my real safe place. That is where I got real emotional love from, real comfort, real gentleness. So anytime she wasn't around or her presence felt distant, it hit me deep. So keep that in mind. And it's really because even though my mom made sure that I had everything physically, my grandmother gave me what I always needed emotionally. And that really matters later. And it always mattered. Now, at some point, my mom started dating this man. Let's call him B. I don't really know how they met. I've heard different versions, but honestly, that part doesn't really matter to me. What mattered, what happened after he came around. And now that I'm talking about it, wait. But see, that's how my mind works, right? So it's blurry. Now that I think about it, he was actually around before we even got the house in Humble. Because before that, I remember we were living in a high-rise loft, and he was there for a while. I think me, my mom, and one of my aunts, they had an apartment together, and it was kind of down by downtown, I think. And they were together then, too. Um, when she got her loft on her own, that's when I think my grandmother came back around for a little bit, too. And then after that, that's when we got the house. So let me fix that, because I want to tell you exactly how it really comes to me. By the time we got the house in Humble, B was already in the picture. Now, I can't tell you everything of what kind of life he had before my mama, but I can tell you this. He didn't have what he had. She brought everything to the table to his life. I'm going to just say it like that. So we just go call it what it was. My mama was tricking. I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm just being real. She was buying this man everything he wanted. I remember one time she bought him the brand new Avalanche when it first came out. I remember coming home one day, and it was motorcycles there. She was funding everything. And as a kid, I didn't understand it, but I could feel it. I could feel that something wasn't genuine. I used to remember hearing things about his ex. He played like she was crazy and had my mom to believe it. So I would think that it was this crazy woman I'd have to look out for, that she would pop up. Now that I'm grown, I know what it really was. He was still dealing with her. That was his baby mama. That was his high school sweetheart. They probably never broke up. And I don't think my grandpa was feeling him. I know. See, you got to think, my grandpa could see game a mile away. Money or not, he still was like a man from Fifth Ward. But I think my mom got to the point where she wanted to prove something. I don't know if she wanted to prove it to him, or maybe prove that the man really loved her, or maybe prove that she could have a relationship. Maybe she wanted to build a family. I don't know. I can understand that now, because I didn't really grow up with a father present. I always knew who my dad was, but he wasn't active in my life growing up. So I don't know, maybe in her mind she was trying to give me something she felt like I didn't have, or something she felt like we didn't have. I will say in her favor, she never tried to push something on me, like force me to call him dad or anything like that. But even without that, the dynamic changed. And it always had been just me and my mama, or me and my mama and my grandma before. So when a man came in the picture, I felt it. I didn't like it at first, because even if I couldn't explain it, I knew it was taking something away from me. The attention changed, the energy changed, her relationship with my grandma changed. And even though I did have some fun moments when he was around, because I'm not going to lie, he made her happy. And when she was happy, she was nicer. I still never felt like he really wanted to be a part of my life, like not in a real way. He had his own child. I can get that. And eventually he started bringing his son around, right? Oh, that's nothing. Okay, so that when he started bringing his son around, at first I really loved it. I had mostly always been an only child. I really was the only child my whole childhood. So having another kid around, it was exciting. We go places. I had someone to talk to, play with. We go to arcades, just fun stuff, you know. But then it started becoming something else. Not his fault, but my mom's. So my mama had this saying. She would always say, I don't know who told her this, but she would always say, you have to treat somebody else's child better than your own. I think you have to treat other children the same as your own, right? But that stuck with her, and she did it to the T. Because what started happening was, if something went wrong, I got blamed. If we both did something, like broke something or touched something we weren't supposed to, I got punished. And if he did something, I got whooped. And it set heavy with me, because that messes up your confidence as a child, that questions your love, a lot of things. And it became like it wasn't fun anymore. Now I started really feeling like, I just felt a lot less. One memory that I had that never left is this go-kart, y'all. I wanted a go-kart so bad, like so bad. I talked about it every day, all the time. One day I get home from school and I look in the small garage and I see a go-kart sitting there with a big bow. I was so happy, y'all. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, she finally got it from me. I ain't say nothing though. I acted like I didn't even see it. I'm waiting. I'm smiling. I'm being extra good, doing things around the house. And days start to go by. She didn't say nothing. She didn't say anything. So he comes over that weekend, his son. My mom said, I got a surprise for you. She opens the garage and gives the go-kart to him. That crushed me. It wasn't just a go-kart. Remember, I was a child, so think about it, not as me now, me as a kid. It was me learning that I could want something so bad and still have to stand there and watch it be given to somebody else. And through my life, that happened multiple times, right? But it didn't even stop there. She got us both puppies. This is part of the reason now I never truly wanted a pet again. I struggle with that. I've gotten a pet a time or two from my children, but I never loved another pet because of this thing, right? So I had a Cocker Spaniel. That was the breed of dog she got for me. I loved that dog so much. One day I come home and my mama sold the dog to the neighbor. So not only, and you have to realize, my grandma, for this part, she's about to come in the picture, but she was not in the picture then. This was almost like my emotional support animal. So not only did I lose my dog, I had to watch the dog every day be walked by somebody else. And that truly broke me. And that's when everything really started shifting. That's when the good started fading. Stuff started getting sold. The tension started getting louder. And that's when the fight started happening. So I'm upstairs, mind you, I'd hear things breaking. And to his defense, to her husband's defense, truly, maybe, I don't know, maybe my mama could have started. My mom was toxic. That it could have been her. It could have been him first. I don't know. But at nights, the fights would explode. Screaming, yelling, chaos. And I learned something during that time. When they started fighting, I needed to disappear. I would go in my closet and just hide. And that's when my closet became my safe place. That's where I learned silence. That's also where I learned fear. And around that time, that's when my grandma moved into the house. And this part still hurts me to this day. The person who made me feel the safest did not feel safe in that house. We had plenty of rooms, but my grandmother had to stay in the attic. It was a panic room, technically. It was like a bookshelf, but when you open the bookshelf, it was a room, but it was unfinished, and it was like upstairs. So my grandma literally had to stay there. Like, she literally had to act like she was invisible. There was times, most of the time, she would wait until my mom left to go downstairs